Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of Clear Your Path to New Beginnings with me, your host, Tory Sachs. It is so good to be back and seeing you guys. I know I say that every single time, but literally, it's so good. Maybe it's just because I love talking and just sharing, but it's so good to be back. So today, I'm going to talk about what a Reiki session looks like with me, because I know a lot of people hear Reiki, they hear practitioner, what have you, and they go and they have no idea. They just have this very abstract idea of what it is. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. I'm actually sitting in the Reiki room where all the magic happens, as I like to say. And so I'm excited to be coming to you from this room so you can just feel the juicy energy. But before I get started, I want to remind you guys that I'm a Reiki practitioner and I also facilitate healing using the ancient art of laying crystals on the body, sound, and I also import extra virgin olive oil from this amazing place called Extremadura, Spain. So I'll let you guys know more about that. But if you're interested, I want to remind you to go to my website, sign up for my newsletter, check it out, subscribe to the channel. My website is www.torysachs.com. So let's get back to what I want to talk to you guys about. So today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about what a Reiki session looks like with me. Super exciting. Okay, so basically, a lot of people are like, okay, well, what does that mean? So first off, I want to clear up anything you may not know. And one thing is, come as you are. So if you're someone that likes to be super comfortable, like I get Reiki once a month for me so that I can be at my highest vibration and as clean and clear and just like ready, just that clear portal. Because remember, I am a conduit of this Reiki energy. So I get it every month. And I typically will come in yoga clothes, lounge clothes, like comfortable clothes. But, if you're someone that prefers to be in something else, that's up to you. Also, you can wear jewelry if you want. You don't have to take it off. It's really up to you. And I know some people are always like, should I eat something? Should I not eat something? You should definitely drink lots of water. And I always remind people at the end of session that you need to drink lots of water because you're detoxing and removing and releasing so much. But you can eat. This is not where it's like, oh, don't like be fasting or don't eat. But I do want to remind you that since we are working on the body and a lot could come up, don't be eating. I mean, I have done this before, so I could say this, but don't eat like a really big meal or anything. Just like be mindful of that. But sometimes like I'll get Reiki and then afterwards I'll get so hungry, or like I'll be facilitating healing and I will be so hungry afterwards because the energy has moved, like realigning your chakras and removing and releasing what no longer serves you. Oh, that's something else I want to say before I forget. If you don't know anything about Reiki and you're curious about what Reiki is, go check out my other video that's all about what Reiki is so you can understand that and the benefits more. So let's get back. So there are a couple different options when coming to me for Reiki. So one is you can have an in-person session with me if you're here in Dallas, Texas, or we happen to be in the same place. Or you can also get something virtually via Zoom or WhatsApp or FaceTime. I like to have like the audio or the video connection for both of us. And then the other option is long distance, where you don't even have to know that I'm sending the Reiki energy. But I prefer to open that portal and bridge if you're not in the same room with me. So you may be thinking, okay, Tory, that's great, but what are the different options? So the in-person, what would happen is you would walk through, and I always say when you walk through my door, the session has started and the amazing power of this Reiki healing energy is like already working its magic on you. We will come through and we'll set an intention for the session and you just think about what you're ready to remove and release from your life, or what is keeping you stuck, or maybe you're holding some grief or sadness or what have you. So you'll remove that. You'll set that as your, whatever is coming up in that moment, you will set as the intention. And then from there, I'll have you get on the table. I say that because I have we're in this amazing space, so the table behind me. So you'll come in and you'll lay on the table, typically on your back, and we'll get you all nice and cozy. You'll have it'll be a warm bed. You've got some blankets with crystals. I'm just I'm Reiki obsessed and crystal obsessed. I mean, have you seen all the bracelets? Anyways, so you'll be laying on the table with some nice crystal blanket on you. And then from there, I will literally, I don't plan it because it's whatever you need to hear in that moment, but I will flip to a page in one of my books, and from there, I will read whatever comes up that you need to hear in that moment, and that what will resonate with you. So I'll read that, and then because it's really important for me, I will then cleanse and clear you. So I always say, saging is not enough. And I have another video and audio on that as well. So if you're interested and want to learn more about cleansing and clearing your space, yourself, what have you, go check that out. But anyways, so I will use sage and Palo Santo because those are the things that I love using. But you may have something else that is what I like to say, your 1-2 punch. So what is the thing that you want to use as the vehicle to cleanse and clear? And then what is the thing to infuse juicy goodness? So back into your life and in your physical body. So I will then go and cleanse and clear yourself and the space, your auric, so your body, but also your auric field, which is the best way to equate that is what we would consider your personal space. So, but it's literally, it could be depending on who you are and how much of your frame it encompasses, usually this area around you. So, and when I say that I'm cleansing and clearing your bodies, it's not just your physical body, it's your 4 main bodies. So that would be your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual body. So all the bodies, we cleanse and clear. And then I just drop you in to session, and you may feel me putting my hands on your body. You may feel to be a conduit of this energy. I may cut cords. I may hover my hands over certain areas of your body and not feel the need to use touch. And then, like I said, I may also work in your auric field. So, and I'm just being led where I need to go with the healing power of Reiki. So it's just telling me where I need to go and what it is and what I'm releasing. Again, we hold a lot of grief in our chest. Maybe we need to realign the chakras, the energies, the main chakras. So there's 7 main chakras in the body. But then there's also the major and minor. So could be, your elbow, your fingers, all these joints have a lot of chakras. Right here is another great chakra point, but it's not the 7 main ones that we always talk about. So I'm going in and realigning, and it could also be from side to side. Our left side is our feminine side of the body, and it has to do with us, what we receive, because it has to do with ourself. But then there's the masculine side of the body, which is all about giving and sharing and what we're putting out to the world and giving to others. So I'll be realigning your energies. I may work on one side more than the other, realigning your chakras, places, going to places. Maybe you had an injury that the Reiki wants to heal and you're ready to release that. So I'm going through and being called where to go. And I mentioned cutting cords. So I always cut cords during a Reiki. That's just what I do. I call in the guides. I call in Archangel Michael and his sword to help me cut cords. And it's really just if Like we all have cords. I mean, even I do. I'm human. I'm not perfect. So what that means is, let's say you have an attachment to someone or something, or you react in a way that's really not you, but you've taken on that mannerism from somebody else, and it's so strong within you that it would be better if you didn't like feel the need to keep doing something. So for example, I'm not saying this is everybody, but for example, it's just the easiest one, and it's the most way to make this abstract, like what is cutting the cord, really into something tangible. So I always like to say, and it's not, because I also have this Reiki card, and it's not the cord cutting, it's not like the breakup card, but it does help facilitate healing after a breakup. So let's say you broke up with someone and you know this person was not for you, it wasn't your person, or it wasn't right, but you just feel like you have to keep, like you want to call them or you want to see them, or and you know they're not good for you. You're like, hey, I know the breakup was really good, but I just keep wanting to call them, or I keep wanting to text them, and it's just like I can't stop. So that means that a cord has been attached to you and this other person. I mean, that makes sense. You're in a relationship and you spend a lot of time with them. So if that cord is ready to be cut, then like I'm going in with the healing power of Archangel Michael, and I'm cutting that cord. So I'm removing it. So the idea is that when you get done with session, I'm not saying, and it may take more than one session too, but when you get done, you don't feel so pulled to go text them or call them when like maybe you're like, hey, I shouldn't be doing this, but I can't seem to stop. Or for example, like you go on the phone with someone, maybe it's a family member or a friend, and they react to something in a certain way, and then you notice every time you're reacting in that same way, but that's not normally how you are. That's because a cord has been attached between you and that other person. So I'm going in and cutting those cords. So I'm realigning your chakras, going in wherever I'm being led to go with this amazing Reiki healing power, and I'm going in and realigning and making sure. I always kind of like make sure that everything is where I want it to be. Everything is in alignment and balance before I close out a session. And typically, just because I feel like you need at least an hour on the bed getting Reiki, typically that's why my sessions are now 75 minutes, just to make sure we talked about things and everything's good, 75 minutes, so that you can get an hour on the bed. So that is, I would do that, and then I always end my sessions with 2 card pulls. And I don't know why 2, but it just kind of happened that way, where, so the first one is just closing out session after, I end session, and then the second one is something that you can take home. And I don't know why, I always feel like I believe you should get a little bit of Reiki home with you as kind of like a gift. So you do a card pull, and again, the card pulls are all different. I never know which deck we're gonna go to, and it's whatever you need in that moment. And so we do those pulls, and then from there, that's when we close session. And then no matter what, if you get virtual, in person, whatever, I always check on you the day after, because I feel like if I've been hanging out in your energy field, I need to know that you're okay and just everything's good. So that is what an in-person session looks like. And a virtual is very similar. It's I would say it's almost exactly the same, except the fact that you are not actually like able to be on the bed and here with me, but I still do it here. I still open the portal. Typically we do a Zoom or like I said, WhatsApp, or I prefer to do the audio so that I can see, or the audio and the video so that I can see you, and we can make sure that the bridge and the portal is connected. And I can tell you for a fact it works, because when I was living in Spain during the pandemic, I was receiving Reiki from the person I still go to here in Dallas. And so actually, the crazy thing is I actually felt more of the benefits from going to see her than I did when I was living in Spain and going to see some of the people that were performing Reiki on me while I was in Spain. So I also like to say it's the connection you have with the practitioner. So I may not be for you. I would love to be for you, let's see, but you know, I'm not for everybody and everybody's not for me. So that's just also something to keep in mind. It's always about the connection that you have with the person and the practitioner, because then like if you're comfortable and you feel safe and you're ready, you're open and ready to receive, then that's when you're gonna get the most benefits from this amazing healing energy and modality. So back to if you're coming for a virtual session. So typically I do it through Zoom or like I said, WhatsApp, and we have the video going and it's really the same stuff. I like to say though, if you are virtual, that, you know, going to a quiet place where you're not gonna be interrupted for a good 75 minutes is perfect. If you want to smell some essential oils to help you ground yourself and be where you want to be, that's perfect. If there's some light music you want to listen to, or really you don't have to and you just go internal, it's great to do if you want to be in bed, if you want to be on a couch, if you want to be in a chair. Really, it's like being comfortable but also not being disturbed, like not crazy noises. I've had people do it in their cars too, and then just reclined. So that's definitely an option as well. And so I'll open the portal. Again, I'll go through really the same steps, and I will actually, so I will do virtuals like if you were here, and I could use flower essences, sprays. I will still sage you and Palo Santo you, even though you're not in the room with me. I could use crystals, sound, and typically I'll have music on going in the background here just to like get me in the space and the frame of mind. And so from there I'll start aligning and going through the process, and then I'll close session and we'll still do card pulls. So like typically I'll find a way where I just like say, hey, are you ready for me to pull a card, or like hold them up, is there a certain one that resonates with you? And again, you will also get a little bit of Reiki. That last card pull, whatever was meant for you, then I'll just ask for your information. I just send it in the mail to you, and when you're ready, you'll receive it. And then still, if you came in and had a virtual session, then I will check on you and see how you're doing. So that's virtual. And then there is a long distance where, let's say, someone's not feeling good, they're sick, whatever, and they just want a little bit of Reiki energy, and they don't want to know when they receive it. Like I've had friends that have been not feeling well, sick, just going through a rough time, or family, and I sent them Reiki, and when I did, all of a sudden, like they noticed, oh my gosh, I could sleep better, or I noticed around that time that you sent me Reiki is when these symptoms went away. So it's really amazing that you don't have to be in the same room to receive the healing power of Reiki. It's just really giving me that consent and opening the portal and being ready and willing to receive. So that is all about a session with me. If you would like to know more, check out my website. It's www.torysaks.com. That's TORYSAKS.com. I am a Reiki practitioner. I also facilitate healing using crystals and sound, and I also import extra virgin olive oil from this amazing place called Extremadura, Spain. So I hope this helps you learn a little bit more about Reiki and what a session looks like with me, and I hope you have a lighter and brighter day. So thank you.